So, what the flip is up with robbing Paul to pay Peter? That's next on What the Flip. What's up? I'm your host, Victor Vogel. To start with, let's get some things clear about Trump moving money out of the military fund to pay for his border wall. For all other than those under Trump's spell, and maybe some of those who might wake up, here are some facts, along with some mostly overlooked issues. First, let's be clear about Trump's very specific promise that he used to get his crowds excited, and that is Mexico will pay for the wall. The hard facts are Mexico is not going to pay for the wall. So pay attention, evangelicals. The crowd was chanting a lie, a sin Christ put in the worst category of sin. Secondly, Congress has oversight and control over how money is budgeted and spent. This is part of the balance of power designed to help control the power of any one branch of the government. If Trump is allowed to take money from any department anytime he wants to fund his broken campaign pledges, then the foundation of checks and balances underpinning our democracy is crumbling. And so is our democracy. Thirdly, here's a known fact. Obama built 130 miles of border wall in the first few months of his first term. Trump has not built one new mile to this day. The government has replaced some of the existing walls that Obama put up, and that's all. This is why Trump is willing to destroy our democracy and put our allies at risk just to save face for a stupid promise, and even then, he can't keep the promise that Mexico will pay for the wall. Fourthly, when you look at the breakdown of the money, Trump is taking money that is meant to protect our allies on the western border of Russia. This is money our allies need, otherwise Russia could invade them as they did to Crimea. To understand more how this fits in with Trump aligning with Putin and Russia, I placed some links to the Rachel Maddow show where she connects some obscure dots that explain how the money being siphoned from the military could be part of a bigger picture relationship between Trump and Putin. When you combine the money taken out of the defense budget with other acts by Trump, like wanting to bring Putin back into the G7 and make it G8 after he was kicked out of the G8 because he annexed Crimea, a very dark objective begins to come into light. Fifthly, he is also taking money from military housing, which is needed for desperate repairs. He is also taking money from projects that would help protect our forces and allies in other countries. This directly impacts our troops, who he, in his campaign promise, said he would support. Just one more lie. These reasons, albeit they are not the only ones, are plenty of evidence for Congress to stop Trump dead in his tracks. With the economy weakening and Trump doing things like taking $80 million from North Carolina's military budget, and they have 4 major military bases where they train people, including the home of Special Operations Forces, which has operations all over the world. And you couple this with the fact that Republican Senator Tillis from North Carolina didn't even raise his finger in objection, sends a clear signal that Trump is a national security threat, at least in my opinion. It's hard for me to watch the Democrats tapping their fingers while saying we need to investigate more, while Trump is dismantling our checks and balances and destroying our democracy and impacting the fate of the rest of the world. It's time to take action and impeach this man and censure him and remove his power of executive actions. If the Senate will not vote him out of office, then they have to restrict his abilities to govern until he's voted out of office. Every person in Congress needs to be held accountable for taking action against Trump or not, and their voting record needs to be made public. Thank God for the free press who uncovers all of this behind the scenes corruption of Trump's administration that would normally be covered up by those in favor of Trump's nationalist agenda. Facts brought out of the dark into the light should help everyone connect dots that are meant to stay hidden and show the true motivation of Trump. Even Fox News is beginning to see the light. I hope many of those who are totally under Trump's cultic spell will also see the light. I'm your host, Vic Vogel. Join me for another What the Flip soon. Until then, these wise words from Marcus Aurelius. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. Second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are.